with severe weather updates around the clock. When severe weather strikes, we break in anytime to bring you the critical information you need to keep your family safe. Brought to you exclusively by Serve Protein McGuire, your local fire, storm, and water restoration experts.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Clinton Schools is excited to introduce the 2025-2026 Teacher of the Year candidates for the Clinton School District. The candidates lead by example and embody all of the characteristics of an effective educator. According to the district, these individuals are patient, approachable, enthusiastic, lifelong learners, strong communicators, and ultimate professionals. They excel in creating and engaging classroom environment, teaching so all students can succeed, effectively collaborate, and exchange ideas and best practices with colleagues, and are able to adapt to an ever-changing, challenging learning environment. They encourage and invite letters of support for any of the candidates. Letters can be sent to the Teacher of the Year Committee in care of Jesse Peterson, CES, 701 Illini Drive, Clinton, Illinois, 61727. If you would prefer, letters may be sent via email to jpeterson@cusd15.org. Please make sure your letter is delivered by April 10th, 2026. Candidates include Clinton High School music teacher Nathan Wheeler, Clinton High School social studies teacher Claire Holloway, Clinton Junior High School social studies teacher Kelby McMath, Clinton Junior High School English and forensics teacher Stacy McMath, and Clinton Junior High School math teacher Kristen Wilson. A local fire department will be collecting blood with the guarantee that it will benefit local people in need. Captain Troy Lashbrook with the Kenney Fire Department explains that their annual blood drive will be taking place on April 3rd. Impact Life Regional Manager Michelle Trunnell adds that the name for the event is Heroes for Life, which honors local first responders.
Going to be Friday, April 3rd. That's Good Friday. We do one Good Friday every year. It's the only one that we host. It's from 11:15 to 6:30 at the Kenney Firehouse.
For sure. We like to recognize our partners based on what they do for the communities.
Mhm.
So we thought Heroes for Life was very fitting for our volunteer fire department here in Kenney. All the advocacy they do when they host this blood drive. They ask every single person they run into if they want to donate blood at their blood drive. They collect anywhere between 100 and 150 units in one day. So they definitely deserve that. So blood is made up of multiple components, 3 components. So if you just take that number, say we collect 100, that can be 300 components out in the community to help people in need.
The Kenney Fire Department began its partnership with Impact Life just a few years ago. Trunnell says they make sure the blood stays local by having relationships and connections with local medical centers.
Impact Life, we are the local blood bank. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We are throughout 4 states, Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Missouri. We serve over 120 hospitals, and all of those are local. So when you donate with us, you're donating with your local community.
We want to help the people in our communities. And most people that come to donate with us, that's their reason for coming. Just like making a monetary donation to the high school or something, it's going to stay right here.
So I think it's just important to focus on where you're at. We have been able to connect with the local hospitals and provide them the good service, the amount of blood units that they need. And that's really what keeps the partnerships going.
Lashbrook notes that the blood drive began 8 years ago when it was proposed by Fritz Robinson. Since then, it has become a passion for the Kenney Fire Department, and he feels that this is just one of the many ways they can continue serving the community.
actually one of our members about 8 years ago, he said, I want to do a blood drive. So it actually was Fritz Robinson's idea. I volunteered to help him. It's something that's actually very dear to me and Fritz, or Fritz and I should say. We've gotten Kerry Coles to jump on board, and Fritz's son, Brian, also has jumped on board with this. We just try and set goals every year and beat them. I had a goal a couple of years ago. I wanted the largest blood drive in the state of Illinois. We can't compete with the Chicago and St. Louis markets, but we accomplished that.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, we were told we had the largest community blood drive in 4 states.
The Heroes for Life blood drive takes place on April 3rd from 11:15 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. at the Kenney Firehouse. Learn more by finding the Kenney Fire Department on Facebook. Get news anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Health isn't just something you think about when you're sick. At the SIU Center for Family Medicine in Lincoln, our doctors care for you through every stage of life. Annual checkups help you stay ahead of problems, keep your family healthy, and build a relationship with a doctor who knows you. Make preventative care part of your routine. Book your annual appointment online today by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. SIU Medicine in Lincoln. Forward for you.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Netflix buffering, YouTube spinning, devices not connecting, Zoom calls dropping. It's frustrating. Let's end your frustration by signing up for fiber internet in Clinton. Click the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. When Normal West opens its regular season next week on the baseball diamond, Coach Christopher Hawkins will be working with one of the youngest and most inexperienced teams he's had in his nearly 30 years of coaching. Coach Hawkins had a strong group of seniors from last year's team, and unfortunately for him, only a handful of underclassmen saw playing time at the varsity level.
It was a fun year. We had a lot of ups and downs, but 11 seniors, it was definitely a solid foundation of some really tough kids. You mentioned Cooper Temples. He played the entire season with a torn ligament in his throwing elbow, and he played shortstop for us. He was a football player. He's like, Coach, I'm never going to be a pitcher. And he had the injury, believe it or not, in football. He's like, I'm not getting it fixed. I'm not a pitcher. We thought he'd probably have to play second, but he ended up playing short. But he was kind of that core nucleus of toughness, and that group they got along really well, Seth. I thought we overachieved a bit. Several of those guys had not played baseball the year before at the varsity level, 7 of those seniors. We ended up having 3 or 4 seniors that played a huge role that didn't play varsity baseball as juniors. And Cooper was one. He was out injured. He had a breakout year. And Chase Knuth and Ryder Kuhn, those 2 guys that were on last year's team, are now coaching on my staff. They're taking a gap year, and they're working for the in town here, and they're going to be helping our lower levels. And I've got 6 alums on our coaching staff right now from the last, 15 years of my coaching. I got 6 somewhere in the levels. I got 6 different alums with me. So I'm excited about a new year, and we're going to be on. Chase Reinhardt ends up being 4A All-State first team as a sophomore. And so when we say overachieved, we didn't expect, him to be at that level. He ends up getting a scholarship offer to Creighton University. But he's got, 2 more years of baseball. Sam McCauley, of course, caught pretty much every game for us as a sophomore last year. So coming in this year, having that core is going to be fantastic. And yeah, they really played like upperclassmen last year as sophomores.
There are a few sophomores that the team will rely on this year that Coach Hawkins is very excited about. He says this will be the youngest team he's probably had in his nearly 30 years at Normal West.
So we're going to be moving guys around. We're going to be probably the youngest team I've ever had. We have no returning seniors on the varsity this year. So no one that played varsity baseball is senior, and that's unprecedented in our program. We had 1 senior on our varsity basketball team this year. At a school of our size, it's rare, but I'm sure excited to see how things are going to shake out. So, yeah, we're gonna have some freshmen and sophomore up making some big contributions. And we are, Seth, we're really excited about some of these younger guys that are going to come up and get an opportunity. And just because our senior class, we just don't have a lot of baseball players in our school right now. I did have a freshman varsity last year named Ty Bachman. He was 4-2 on the mound as a freshman, and he has grown 2 inches. He gained 30 pounds. He and Chase Reinhardt are the fastest 2 kids in the program. So at 6'3", 193, he's a sophomore. He's running a 6'9", 60-yard dash. He's in mid-80s on the mound, and really a very quality hitter that'll be in the middle of our lineup this year. So sophomore Ty Bachman. And then we've got a couple other sophomores right now through this tryout are trying to make their way.
On top of being young, Coach Hawkins indicates he is going to be without his top returning pitcher, who is down due to Tommy John surgery. The hope is he can maybe be in the lineup as a DH later this spring.
Chase Reinhardt, who was our returning, number 1 pitcher in 4A All-State, at the end of the summer, he had some arm pain, ended up having a partial tear in his ligament in his elbow. So he had Tommy John over the off season, but he's to the point now. Luckily for us, he's to the point now where he's going to be able to possibly play some first base in early April and then start throwing a little bit more and doing some bullpens. We don't know where it's going to go. We're not going to rush anything. He may not throw it all for us this spring, but again, he's only a junior, and other people are going to get opportunities to pitch, and they're going to be young guys. So I'm really excited, Seth, for these kids to get some varsity opportunities at a young age. So, trying to find some silver linings in the fact that we are going to be young, but I don't think that means that we're not going to win a lot of games. I'm really excited. We just don't have a lot of stats to say, hey, we got this guy returning in the 3-hole who had 8 home runs. We don't have that. So I'm really excited I think I'm going to have a bunch of surprises that we're going to be able to brag about and celebrate in the season.
Yeah, for sure.
The Wildcats will be dropping down to 3A this year. Coach Hawkins hopes that while the record may not end up where it traditionally does, his hope is that his team is battle-tested through a rigorous non-conference slate and Big 12 conference schedule to turn some heads when the postseason arrives. In high school boys basketball Super-Sectional championship matchups tonight, in Class 1A, 1-seed Leroy will play top-seeded Lawrenceville at Eastern Illinois University at 7 p.m., while 2-seed Tremont takes on the 2nd-seed Eastland at Western Illinois University at 7 p.m. In Class 2A, top-seeded Quincy Notre Dame plays 1-seed Benton at Southern Illinois University at 7 p.m., while top-seeded Tolono Unity takes on 1-seed McNamara at Pontiac at 7 p.m., and 1-seed Peoria Manual plays top-seed Johnsburg at Sterling at 7 p.m. In Class 3A, the 1-seeded Decatur MacArthur plays top-seed East St. Louis at the Bank of Springfield Center at 7 p.m. David Mirkovic had 22 points and 11 rebounds as the number 11 Illinois Fighting Illini held off the Maryland Terrapins 78-72 on Sunday. The Terrapins fall to 11-20 and 4-12 in the Big Ten. They have a desultory season under first-year coach Buzz Williams, losing 20 games for the first time since the 1988-89 season, but they gave the Illini a battle, who improved to 24-7 and 15-5 in the Big Ten. Illinois led 63-62 before Ben Hummerkaus made a three-pointer that started a 7-0 run for the Illini. The Terps pulled back within 2, but a successful challenge of an out-of-bounds call enabled the Illini to keep the ball within 1 minute and 4 seconds to play. Mirkovic worked free for a layup inside, and Maryland's next possession went about as badly as possible when the Terrapins used most of the shot clock before Andre Mills misfired from three-point range. Maryland was down 4 in the final seconds when Darius Adams was unable to convert a layup. Mills scored 30 points for the Terps. Adams added 14 points, and Diggy Coit contributed 10. Illinois won despite shooting 5 of 24 from three-point range. Kylan Boswell and Keaton Wagler scored 11 points apiece. Illinois awaits its quarterfinal opponent in the Big Ten Conference Tournament. Maryland as the number 17 seed in the Big Ten Tournament. The Terps will play in the event's opening game Tuesday against 16th seeded Oregon. The Illinois State baseball program dropped the final game of its series against Eastern Kentucky 10-6 Sunday afternoon at Earlcombe Stadium in Richmond, Kentucky. The Redbirds secured the lead in the opening frame after junior Ryan Bakes drove in Luke Stolga on a sacrifice fly to take a 1-0 advantage. A frame later, Illinois State added another run via a sacrifice fly from graduate Camden Karchewski, who brought in Eric Machej to give the Redbirds a 2-0 lead. After 4 scoreless innings, Eastern Kentucky claimed the lead with 4 runs in the bottom of the 5th with a pair of RBI singles and a 2-run double to take a 4-3 advantage. In the following inning, the Redbirds responded as junior Michael Carano recorded a pinch hit triple to score McHarg to tie the contest at 4-4. Carano later scored on a sacrifice fly to give the Redbirds a 5-4 lead. Following the Redbirds' response, the Colonels reclaimed the lead with a 2-run single to take a 6-5 lead in the bottom half of the 6th. A frame later, Eastern Kentucky extended its advantage with a 2-run home run to make the score 8-5. In the 8th, the Colonels added a pair of runs to push their lead to 10-5. In the final inning, the Redbirds pulled a run back to make the score 10-6 after Carano tallied a solo home run. Illinois State attempted a rally late after adding a pair of runners with a single and a walk, but Eastern Kentucky held on to secure the victory. Illinois fell to number 20 USC 5-3 in its series finale at the Dedeaux Field in Los Angeles. The Illini took a 2-0 lead in the first inning before the Trojans accounted for the game's next 5 runs. A late Illinois rally was not enough as USC remained perfect in 2026. AJ Putty and Will Johans posted 2-hit days at the plate, with 5 different Illini tallying a hit. Aiden Flynn earned the start while Kyle Remington and Reed Gannon entered in relief, with Gannon going 3 innings without conceding an earned run. Russell Westbrook had 23 points, 12 assists, and 11 rebounds for his NBA record 208th career triple-double, while the Sacramento Kings beat the Chicago Bulls 126-110 on Sunday night. Westbrook shot 7 of 17 with 3 3-pointers in 35 minutes. Colin Sexton made 7 3-pointers and scored 28 points off the bench for the Bulls. Josh Giddey had a triple-double with 15 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. Matas Buzelis scored 20 points, and Nick Richard had 10 points and 11 rebounds. Reynaud with 18 points, Monk with 14, and Westbrook with 10 got the Kings going in the first half. The trio shot a combined 16 for 29, sparking Sacramento to a 65-51 halftime lead. The Bulls play Tuesday at Golden State, while the Kings host the Pacers on Tuesday. Defenseman Miro Heiskanen scored 22 seconds into overtime to give the Dallas Stars a 4-3 victory over the Chicago Blackhawks on Sunday. Young Chicago star Connor Bedard forced the extra period by scoring with 1 minute and 20 seconds left in regulation, with the Blackhawks playing with an extra skater. Maverick Bourque had a goal and an assist for Dallas. Nathan Bastian and Justin Hirakawian also scored, and Casey DeSmith made 12 saves. Tyler Bertuzzi and rookie defenseman Sam Renzel also scored for Chicago, and Arvid Soderblom stopped 28 shots. The Blackhawks are 2-7-4 in their last 13. The Stars turned a 2-1 deficit going into the third period into a 3-2 lead on Bourque's goal 42 seconds in, and Hyrcorian's power play goal at 9 minutes and 40 seconds. The Blackhawks took a 2-0 lead in the first period on a deflection by Bertuzzi at 6 minutes and 59 seconds, and Renzel's blast from the slot fewer than 2 minutes later. Bastian scored Dallas's first goal late in the period. The Blackhawks complete a back-to-back by hosting Utah tonight to begin a home-and-home with the Mammoth. The Stars host Vegas on Tuesday night in the third game of a 6-game homestand. Joel Hofer made 22 saves in his fifth shutout of the season. Jonathan Drouin scored in his St. Louis Blues debut, and St. Louis beat the Anaheim Ducks 4-0 on Sunday night to sweep a 4-game trip. Jordan Kiro, Jimmy Snuggerud, and Pius Suter also scored to help St. Louis win for the fifth time in 6 games since the Olympic break. Drouin was acquired from the Islanders on Friday at the trade deadline in the deal that sent Blues captain Braden Shen to New York. The left wing scored the second of 3 second-period goals, firing a slapshot pass to Ville Husso on a power play with 9 minutes and 53 seconds left. Kiru opened the scoring at 4 minutes and 22 seconds, snapping a shot from the right side to the far post on a 3-on-1 break. After helping set up Drouin's goal, Snuggerud added one of his own with a one-timer with 7 minutes and 49 seconds to go. After Anaheim successfully challenged Snuggerud's apparent goal midway through the third for offsides, Suter scored into an empty net with 4 minutes and 2 seconds to go. Husso stopped 31 shots. The Ducks completed a 9-game homestand, splitting the last 4 after winning the first 5. They were 0 for 6 on the power play against the Blues. The Blues host the New York Islanders on Tuesday night, while the Ducks are at Winnipeg on Tuesday night. In high school girls basketball, state championship scores from Saturday in the Class 1A championship. Top-seeded DMAC took down 1-seed Mount Pulaski 49-34. In the Class 2A championship, 2nd seed Breese Central beat 1-seed Byron 44-28. In Class 3A, top-seeded Washington beat 1-seed Chatham Glenwood 60-45. And in the Class 4A championship, 1-seed Nazareth beat top-seeded Loyola Academy 55-23. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL Sports Wire on your preferred social media platform.